For exclusive podcasts and more, sign up at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia.
This week's Law & Order Marathon winner is Julie Rhea of London, Kentucky. Julie will win a marathon decal showing she watched 26.2 hours of her favorite crime show, which just happens to be SVU. To be next week's winner, sign up at lawandorderpodcast.com.
I'm Kevin Flynn with Rebecca Lavoie and Repy Hattersley, and these are their stories.
You think you know who did it, but you don't know who did it. Law and order, law and order, law and order. It's no ordinary police procedural, baby. It's the FNOG of police procedurals, baby. Law and order, law and order, law and order, law and order. These are their stories, these are their stories.
Welcome to These Are Their Stories, the podcast about network TV's most enduring crime franchise and the real-life cases that inspired their shows. I'm Kevin Flynn, and each podcast will break down an episode from either Criminal Intent, SVU, or Original Recipe. And today we're looking at SVU, Season 10, Episode 10, Smut.
These bitches do what you want when you want.
Prince Charming likes rape porn.
Likes is an understatement. He's got more than 200,000 pics and videos.
It's quite a spank bank.
But it doesn't prove that he raped Kelly.
We are recording live at PodX in Nashville. Yeah. Joining me on stage is true crime author and the host of Crime Writers On and Slate's Mom and Dad Are Fighting podcast, Rebecca Lavoie. Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, and thank you for mentioning the parenting podcast right as we're about to record an episode about porn. That's really awesome of you. Appreciate it.
And rounding out our panel is our special guest from the Hell and High Horror podcast, Repy Hattersley. Hello, Repy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, horror, true crime, and SVU are all popular with women. Is it because they actually make us feel safe?
Well, I don't know if that's it. I think it's that we want to consume it so that maybe we can understand it and avoid it in real life.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of like watching a scary movie where, like, you get the excitement of it, but
You're not actually being chased by an axe murderer.
afterwards you're like, well, I wouldn't have gone down that dark alley, in the middle of the night, so I'll be fine if that ever happens to me.
I'm so smart.
Yeah, I'm so much smarter than that actress. What a stupid actress.
So of all the franchises, which two cops are your favorite detective team?
Favorite Law and Order detective team.
I like Finn, and I mean, his partner's fine, but I like Finn, just solo. I think his monologues are like the best. Written anything ever to ever happen. I mean, there's a great one in this episode. There's always a great one.
Oh, yeah, this is a classic.
Yeah.
Finn, this is super Finn.
This is the finniest Finn that ever finned in Law & Order. And for those of you who are not fans, that's Ice-T, by the way.
And who's your favorite prosecutorial team?
Favorite Law and Order district attorney prosecutorial team.
Well, I like, I just like Cabot because she's so dramatic, She's a lot like me. Because spoiler alert, but I also plan on faking my death. So I think we'll get along if we ever met in real life.
Okay. All right, now let's look at the first half of this episode, SVU, Season 10, Episode 10, Smut. Now, a note to our audience, we're going to be making fun of fictional detectives investigating fictional sex crimes against fictional victims. And if you still find that especially heinous, you may want to go to the Classical Music Podcast in room 208. A mom chasing her kid and runaway dog, who leaves her baby stroller right in the middle of Central Park, is greeted by Kelly's son. She's bloody and beaten and in her underwear. Stabler and Benson learn that she remembers nothing about her attack.
Bloodhounds get us sent. Maybe they can track back to where Kelly was raped.
Just walking around for hours are wasting their time.
Better than doing nothing. We're not going to get much out of her.
I don't know what's worse. Not being able to remember your attack or not being able to forget it.
Kelly was supplementing her job as a travel writer with being a courier. She was supposed to deliver $700,000 in uncut diamonds to the McGuffin brothers when she was attacked. Video at the airport shows her having drinks with Eric Lutz. They find the bag of diamonds at his place, and Eric admits to hooking up, but says it was consensual. When he visits Kelly in the hospital, well, it all comes back to her. Going through Eric's computer, they find a bunch of violent porn and videos of him raping Kelly and 4 mystery women. They show he went from using willing participants to drugging unsuspecting victims. But it might not be enough because the videos could be interpreted as consensual sex. One of the victims is Laurel Andrews, a mom from the gym who doesn't remember her attack. To help her along, Elliot shows the rape video to Laurel's husband, which is so not cool. After Olivia bears her soul about her own recent sexual assault, Laurel agrees to testify, and Eric is arrested. Okay, so Kelly wanders through the park in her underwear and trench coat with blood running down her legs, and apparently nobody in New York seems to care.
Stop! Get away from my baby! He was crying. Oh my God. Are you okay?
So apparently this is just what goes on in New York now, half-naked women.
It's very Victoria's Secret of her with the black bra matching underwear and that trench coat. It's very. Also, she seems very upset for a woman who just left her baby. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't really get to be upset when you leave your baby in a stroller to go chase your, 3-year-old who has a huge dog on a leash?
Yes. That
seems like maybe.
Yeah, not only left the stroller with the baby alone, but at the top of the hill.
In the safest place on earth, New York City.
And that dog, that lazy names are us dog, Minnie, the giant brown Labrador retriever dog. But yeah, Kelly's outfit was confounding to me. And this, again, is one of these moments where you feel like it's a terrible thing to say. I mean, she's been wandering around for hours, 5 hours, in lingerie and a trench coat with blood everywhere. And no one called the cops at all?
Just the baby.
Exactly.
Just a baby.
Now, Kelly can't remember what happened to her until Eric shows up at the hospital.
You met him at JFK last night. You left with him.
What? How could that be?
Don't tell me you don't remember me.
Get away from me! Arrest him! He raped me! He raped me!
Well, it's a really good thing those illegal diamond dealers, diamond traders sent her a floral arrangement that was just tasteful enough, but not so heavy that she couldn't throw it at the guy.
Yeah, her ivy didn't even come undone. It was really amazing.
No. Yeah, it was. I mean, also, I love that when she gets upset about losing the diamonds, the only mention about it is when Olivia's like, they have insurance for it. That's it. That's all we're going to talk about in the whole thing. No one's going to be more upset about all the diamonds she lost.
Except the hilariously named Marx Brothers, which is the name of the diamond dealers. Come on. It's very lazy writing when it comes to naming things in this episode, as usual.
I kind of like the idea, though. It might be the Marx Brothers
The
that
actual Marx Brothers.
looking for those diamonds. So they bring in Eric for questioning, and he says that the sex was consensual, and that's when Finn walks in with the evidence.
Yeah, we found blood on your sheets, same type as Kelly's. Explain that, player.
Guys, come on. It was the time of the month. It's not exactly a deal breaker for me.
It's not a deal breaker for him.
Congratulations.
Yeah, this isn't about you.
You know where he learned to be that chivalrous?
Where?
Hudson University.
We are Hudson, where the bikers go to school.
That's not a deal breaker. I wonder what is.
Yeah, I mean, he's down for anything, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, he just loves women so much. He doesn't care that they're menstruating or that they don't want to do it. He's flexible.
We have a Hey, It's That Guy.
Hey, it's that guy.
Our first is Eric Lutz.
Yeah, well, we were getting along. I suggested she could come over to my house and then she could take a flight the next day.
Pretty smooth?
Yeah, I was surprised when she said yes, but who am I to say no to a beautiful woman?
Repy, do you know the actor playing this character?
He looked familiar. Didn't look it up.
Rebecca?
He's Cylon Sam from Battlestar Galactica is who he is.
Yeah, that's Michael Trucco. And he played Ensign Anders, the 2,000-year-old Cylon husband of Starbuck.
Hot.
Then I don't know what I saw him in because never seen that.
Well, I certainly like how they had to like show off his six-pack.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
How about he's just getting a massage when the detectives show up?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
I liked it.
You know how you do in the middle of the day,
Listen.
the work day.
We are supposed to find all the rapists on SVU super repugnant. Like, that is our job as the
Right.
audience. You know, Olivia Benson always does that face, and I know it's a podcast, but these guys can see it where she's like, right? I could not muster that for this guy. I couldn't. He's so unbelievably good looking. I loved him in Battlestar. Love him in this, even though I know I'm not supposed to. Can't help it. Sorry.
Are you saying he's like so good looking as a rapist that?
That's what they say on the show. I mean, it's not like that's an original idea. The writers actually write dialogue for someone to say, like, what, he doesn't have a problem getting women? Like,
That's true. They did ask that. Yeah.
I feel like 50% of the time they say that, though.
it's true.
I mean, also, I think he kind of has a pinched face. I mean, if we're just going to come out right now and say it, I think his face is pinched.
We also have, hey, it's that girl.
Hey, it's that girl.
The victim in this case is Kelly's son.
Okay, well, I went to go pick up the diamonds, and I was nervous because I've never carried anything so expensive before.
Anyone know that actress?
Nope.
No.
Her name is Kelly Hu, and she is the first Asian American Miss Teen USA.
Wow.
She was also Lady Deathstrike in X-Men 2. And does anybody watch Arrow, the Green Arrow? Okay, she plays supervillain China White.
Huh? That's a really culturally insensitive name for
Yeah,
an
that
Asian
is.
supervillain. I'm just saying, I mean, I'm sure it's like from some comic book or something. No offense, Taylor. But it's a super culturally insensitive name for an Asian character.
Well, she's also the spokeswoman for Viagra.
Oh.
Not really.
It's really, yes, really. Yeah.
like the voiceover person?
No, she appeared in a TV commercial. It was like, guys.
Let me take off my trench coat.
Walking through the bedroom.
Yeah, she's wearing the same outfit in the SVU episode.
You don't need Viagra for that outfit. A couple other folks here. We had actually one of our very first Hey, It's That guys. Who is the actor playing kinky Judge Mordock? Anyone know?
Oh, it's a dude from Northern Exposure.
Yeah, that is veteran actor John Cullum.
Objection overruled. The knife cuts both ways, Ms. Renier.
Yeah, he's a good judge. He had 13 Law and Order universe appearances.
Wow.
And you're right, he was from Northern Exposure. I've got a deeper cut. Can you give me the name of the actor who played travel writer Riley Slade?
I did a screen test for Jet Center Network. They want to give me my own cable show. Slade Runner. Pretty catchy, huh?
That's the guy who couldn't bother to get off his bicycle to talk to the New York City detectives. How did they even find him? He was riding his bicycle around New York.
They find a way.
I was too distracted by that to see who he was.
That is the late Ryan Dunn.
Oh, way to bring down the room.
And you know him as one of the jackasses from Jackass.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They needed an actor who could ride a bicycle down 3 stairs. So they said, let's get a quasi-stunt man who can do that. Also, I'm going to give you $1 billion if you get this one.
Oh, no.
All right,
Okay,
ready?
now this
Here's
one
a
I'll
clip.
know.
Anthony, you push Avery and I'll take Minnie.
I can do it.
Don't let her lead.
Stop, girl.
Minnie, heel.
Can you name the actor who played Little Anthony, the kid in Central Park who can't control the dog?
Sakes, no.
No.
You didn't recognize him? That's Skylar Gunter. He plays Jason Bateman's money laundering son, Jonah, on Ozark.
Really? Oh, I love Ozark. Wow. Totally recognized him.
Yeah, you can tell he was destined for great things.
By the way, he held that leash.
Yeah. I think he was doing his own stunts, too. It just...
Are we going to talk about that douchebag travel writer? Can we just for a sec?
Okay, sure.
So there's this whole thing where like he and Kelly, whose character, are like frenemy travel writers.
Yeah.
And there's this whole piece of dialogue about how they like con magazines into paying for the travel for the stories they're ostensibly writing for those magazines. Isn't that part of the deal of being a travel writer? It's like you don't go on your own dime and then like the magazine prints your story, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It made no sense to me.
Because would you pay to go to some of these far-flung places to...
Work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're a travel writer, that's what you do. Okay, so no one can figure out what this drug is used to knock out Kelly, but as soon as they discover it, Finn hears it and he knows exactly what it is.
Of course. So I reran Kelly's talk screen for a tropane alkaloid called scopolamine and hit the jackpot.
Colombian devil's breath. Scam artists use it in Latin America to prey on people, get them to hand over their life savings.
Colombian devil's breath.
He knows everything. Am I right?
I mean, that's why he's the best, because also he's kind of not a good detective. But then he comes through with something like that where you're like, no one needed that. You could have kept that to yourself and she would have just gone on to tell you what it was, but he just had to add it. He was like, yeah, I know what that is.
I could mansplain this to you.
Yeah. Doctor.
I'm Ice-T. I know everything.
He does. He always knows like the iconography of like the stamps that are on pills. He'll like see a symbol and he'll be like, that's the Colombian drug lord's like doorway marker. He knows everything.
He does. And what I love is, sort of the trope where they give like some sort of thing and he knows like the street name and what it does. There's a great parody Twitter account. It's at Ice-T SVU, where they just do this over and over again, like with different random things. These are some of my favorites. It's like, I'm going to have to do it a little bit. Like, right. Medical examiner says they OD'd on some new narcotic called fairy drizzle. It's made from pudding and DMT. Lab says they OD'd on some new narcotic called bumblebee salad. It's made from blueberries and chlorine. I love this one. Street name is Pony Gravy. Kids try it at parties. Next thing you know, they're on a stoop, getting paid to write fake Yelp reviews about pork chops.
Looks like someone spent too much time on Twitter.
So when they search Eric's place, the text says, look, we found no sign of that drug, no computer searches for it. Apparently he views a lot of violent porn. And, oh yeah, there are videos of him raping 5 women.
Yes.
Wouldn't you lead with that information? Because that's kind of why you're there, right? Looking for a crime?
Yeah, but that's not good storytelling. You give them a little bit, you pull them in, and then bam, you hit them with the end.
Yeah. Oh, you had me at the rape porn.
You're like,
tell me more.
Oh, this was interesting.
We also know these cops do not like to watch video evidence of sex crimes being committed, even though it is their literal job.
Can you do an impression of an SVU detective watching a video?
Yes. All right, so hit play.
All right.
Oh, turn it off. I can't watch this anymore. Like, literally, you are the only person who is getting paid to watch this stupid video. The rape...
There could be a plot twist in the video.
That's right. And the victim...
Because you didn't see it.
She is like, no, I want to see the whole thing. And Olivia's like,
God,
no, you don't.
does.
It's like, yes, maybe she will dig up the evidence of the crime that was committed against her.
They do all seem very annoyed by their jobs all the time.
That's right. They're really
like,
put off.
Or like baffled, just like, a child rapist. It's like, yeah, bud. That's what you do. I mean, you don't need to be annoyed by this. This is your job.
But somebody in that department, though, went in and edited those videos and put like chyrons over the
victim
scenes.
Number 2.
Victim number 1. Victim. I'm like, so somebody there is watching. Like someone in the graphics department has to watch the whole video.
Yeah, exactly. I do like our friend Sarah D. Bunting always likes to point out that every time someone goes to Benson about a crime, she looks like it's her first goddamn day on the job.
Yeah.
It's like, you are the lieutenant of this fucking division.
Exactly.
You've been doing this for 20 years.
That's right.
Why are you surprised?
Right.
Yeah.
That's all they send you.
That's right.
Yeah, no one's ever going to come and be like, I don't know, there was nothing. Nothing happened today. It's like,
that's right.
Great. It's
No.
like, this is New York City.
That's right. Well, the writers here aren't exactly
Why
like...
do you keep bringing me this shit?
Yeah, I mean, they don't know how to write anything other than that. That's the whole thing. Just like they don't know how to come up with like convincing porn rape website names. They have the ones that forceher.net, holdherdown.com. Like,
I gotta say though, for SEO, that's some pretty good URL.
Potentially.
/crime.
But it does feel like they just write like slug things. They're like, oh, we have to come up with a name for this later, so we'll just call it forceher.net. And then like it just slips through, and like that's how
You might want to rephrase that.
I'm always waiting for like a .edu to come up. What? A whole college?
.taxi.
Oh my gosh.
We are Hudson, where the bad guys go to school.
So one of the 5 rape victims they tracked down is named Laurel Andrews, and she's reluctant to testify. So Benson opens up to her about her own attack.
A few months ago, I was sexually assaulted by a man while I was working undercover. I felt guilty that I didn't stop him, ashamed of how powerless I was. And then I got angry, but that didn't help me get over it.
What did?
Admitting that it happened and putting the man who did it behind bars.
I think that it's like this character arc that distinguishes Olivia Benson from other characters on TV. She has, the audience sees her not as a victim, but as a champion for those, for victims. So, when you say something bad about Benson on Twitter, you get really smacked down because people, they project, I think, they project a lot of other things onto her. What do you think?
Yeah, she's like a hero almost. I mean, she mentions it a lot though, but she like people consider her, people can she's like a strong woman figure. And so people want her to win in the end. Whereas her partner's kind of a jackass.
Yeah. And also that is a little bit of a retconning, that description that she did of what happened to her, which troubles me.
I think she's talking about the undercover,
the prison
episode.
I know what she's talking about. Yeah. And in many other episodes, she vehemently claims she was not sexually assaulted in the prison. And she says,
isn't it on TV? Did everybody see it?
She says a thing there, I felt bad because it's like, he was a prison guard and you were playing a prisoner. What could you possibly have done? And literally that is why you were there. You were there to try to get him to sexually assault you. And I'm not saying there's anything off about that, but
it seems like it was a poor
she reuses
plan.
it. Yes. And again, they reused that story in 8 different ways to get people to talk. And I find that troubling.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really throw it in.
They do.
A lot.
Yeah. They can't help it.
Yeah.
Well, Benson is definitely a hero. Playing the rape video for the victim's husband
Oh my God.
is why we think Stabler is an asshole.
He is an asshole.
He is.
He's
he's not a good father. I mean, he's nothing. Nothing's redeemable about him.
Obnoxious husband.
Yep. I mean, he's not even that good at his job. He just wrestles a lot. He just always takes down the perp, even if they don't need to be wrestled to the ground.
That's right.
He's always there though to do it.
I was sitting.
Yeah. He's like, my hands were behind my back. I was ready for.
He just has to win, and that's what bothers me about him. Olivia likes to win too, but she also understands that sometimes winning looks different. It doesn't always look like, black or white, right? It doesn't always look like, but Stabler, it's always got to be like, yeah. And he wasn't going to get this woman to testify, and that's losing.
Yeah. But maybe getting her husband to convince her.
Exactly.
But also, is that not illegal to show a rape video to someone who's not the victim? Isn't that there's no issue? There's no issue. He couldn't be fired. I don't know. That's someone's rape that you're just throwing around. It's just the only thing I find problematic with SVU in total is that they throw the word hooker around.
Yes.
Just left and right. It's no issue at all, and it's very problematic to me, right?
Yes,
it's
it hasn't aged well.
Yeah,
in some areas, oh, look at that tranny, right? We wouldn't use that term,
right?
But it was played for a laugh, in season 6.
Yeah.
But and I think it's part of the thing because it has such a long life that you really do see culturally shifts from season to season.
It's gotten crazy though, because right now we're at the point where they are ham-fisted and bending over backwards to be inclusive in some ways. And then they've become so socially conservative in other ways. There was a line this season about Olivia said, my son needs a strong male role model. No, he fucking doesn't.
He needs a swift kick in the ass is what that kid needs.
Jesus Christ, what are you talking about? Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that for rape detectives, their sort of general disregard for sex workers is troubling.
Yeah.
As is their willingness to threaten suspects with being raped in prison. They're always like, oh, they're not going to like you where you're going. I'm like, you are the rape detective.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You should find an issue with all of this.
But then they can just get over it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the next episode,
That's right. And use it as a story to get someone else to talk that doesn't want to.
All right, now let's look at the second half of this episode.
So excited.
Yeah. Good one.
Facing the judge, accused serial rapist Eric Lutz says the naughty pictures made him do it.
My client would like to change his plea to not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect.
On what grounds?
He's addicted to pornography.
Watching porn is not an excuse to rape.
Being brainwashed is.
Also, we learn Finn likes to jerk it. Yard sale prosecutor Kim Graylick plays Eric's rape video in court, and he incriminates himself by popping a boner. The jury goes hard on him. They convict.
I live with this.
They convict, but there's a problem with the judge. Someone found on his computer video of, and NBC really showed this, a man getting dry humped by a dolphin. And apparently that's how you get a mistrial in New York City.
Yeah.
When she hears that she's going to have to testify all over again, Laura slaps Olivia in her smug fucking face. So she responds the only way she can, works even harder for the victims. Could that $18,000 purchase Eric made right before shooting video number 1 have been the engagement ring on the victim's finger? Of course it is. Benson tricks Eric into telephoning his ex-fiancée so they can track the call in a 100% completely constitutional way. They confront the rapists with all the victims at once, and he says, unironically, "You'll never forget me." Okay, maybe you have to know that she is referring to a real-life porn star to get this, but this piece of dialogue should be stitched on a pillow.
I can't count the number of perps that we've collared with porn stashes that would make Jenna Jameson gag.
And that ain't easy.
And that ain't easy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what you call sweet wisdom from Finn.
Sweet wisdom from Finn.
Is that the debut of that sound effect?
No, I've used it before.
Can you play it again?
Sweet wisdom from Finn.
All right. I like it.
So, who should come to the defense of erotica in America other than the man who in real life married a Playboy model?
But you can't tell me that there's no connection between porn and rape.
Oh, hold up. I've enjoyed adult entertainment a time or two, and I've never forced a woman.
So after what we see all day, you go home and watch women being degraded to get off?
All women don't feel the same way you do about porn. I mean, my girl digs it. Plus, she got female producers running multi-million-dollar porn production companies.
Women making porn looks like the whore in the corner working her way up the pimp. Doesn't make it right.
Lighten up, choir boy. You don't have to be a perv to like porn.
Oh my gosh, there's so much in that one section.
Yes.
For one, just flat out, just refer to a sex worker as a whore.
Yep.
Good.
Thanks, rape cop.
Yeah, cool. But also the fact that this whole conversation the whole time is like, are they really implying that porn is causing rape? It's baffling. But I do love that Finn comes out and he's just like, I watch porn. Bam.
Everybody acting in that scene watches porn.
Yeah, I mean...
Everybody almost watches porn. And that was sort of what the scene was supposed to be about, right? Like Finn, they pick Finn to be the Greek chorus for the audience. Everyone's sitting at home being like, oh yeah, I don't watch porn.
But it's believable. Yeah.
But it's him. They make it him. It's like...
Is it going to be Stabler?
It should have been... He has so many fucking kids. You know he's watching porn.
Well, you know where all of his sperm has been going. There's nothing lying around.
That's true.
Yeah, but I think it's
There's
because
no knuckle chowder from Stabler.
Stop it! Oh God!
I think it's because Ice-T's so lovable. So when you hear that, you're like, "Oh, he watches porn
with his lady."
Yeah, but if like Stabler said it, you'd be like, "Oh, I don't think I like that."
I like the badunkadunk porn.
I do like that he calls him a choir boy. That's really fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
So porn, good, bad, or both?
It's fine. I mean, whatever you want to do. I mean, if you are making it on purpose, good for you. If you're consuming it on purpose by somebody who made it on purpose, even better.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
But if your videos are on someone's encrypted hard drive,
that's not porn.
That's not porn.
Yeah,
that's just...
I mean, that was video evidence of a crime which they all refused to watch.
Yes. So Benson raises a very interesting point about the nature of victimhood.
I want to catch the guy as much as you do, but what about Laurel Andrews?
How many times have you said confronting the attacker is the only way to move on?
Laurel doesn't have to move on. In her mind, she wasn't even raped.
You can't change what happened to Laurel.
I can protect her from the damage.
No, you can't. You should know that better than anyone.
So if you can't be traumatized by being a victim, are you still a victim? It's a good question.
Is it? I mean,
you come on our show every week.
I mean, it doesn't mean that, in the criminal justice system, you're not a victim of a crime.
Right.
But the way victims identify...
Yeah, because so like this drug, it makes it so you can't produce memories. But in this girl's case, later she admits that she started to remember once she left. So my fear, if I didn't let the victim know what happened to her, is like slowly but surely she'd start to remember over the years, and then she'd just like go insane and jump out a window or something.
Well, I mean, it is Colombian devil's breath. It's pretty...
Yeah. But she did know. I mean, they told her. This is like my issue with it, is Olivia told her.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. So she knew. So if she could have always just said, "Here, take my card. If you ever want to talk, call me." She didn't. That was her approach, and I think that was the right thing to do. But Elliot had to win.
Yeah, I think that was the right thing to do.
He had to win.
Think,
not cool.
No, not cool. Not cool.
Yeah, definitely not show the husband. I don't know why the husband was even involved. This isn't even about the husband.
Didn't happen to him. Yeah. But, in Elliot's mind, it's all the same. A husband, basically, he's the man.
Well, because they own women.
Yeah. But it seems like the hypothesis is that it's the memory, remembering your attack and remember being a victim is the bad thing about being a victim. And so if you can just erase that, then...
Didn't you watch Homecoming on Amazon?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if the trauma is memories, and like experiences are memories. Experiences are not actually happening to you when you remember them. I think Olivia has a good point. I think this is another one in the column for Elliot being a douchebag.
Yeah, I think he was a douchebag. But also, you can really grow from I would just fear that for the rest of her life, she'd think about it and never move on or learn about it, because she's like, oh, well, I don't remember it, but I know it happened to me. Like, I feel like that could really damage a person too, Whereas, like, at least if she knows what happened, she can kind of, like, grow and, like, overcome it.
Right. Fortunately, she's a fictional character.
Yeah.
So she really isn't a victim at all.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true. Well, we don't know her personal history.
That dolphin, though.
The dolphin. We're going to get to the dolphin.
Really is the victim.
We will get to the dolphin. So let's talk about the courtroom scene for a second. Because first of all, they come out with an expert in pornography that says,
oh, yes.
Oh, this is horrible. And then on cross-examination, they get this.
Both studies found that an increase in the availability of pornography positively correlated to a decrease in sexual assaults.
In other words, when porn is easily available, fewer rapes happen.
That's right.
Okay, the more you know. Greylock tries to goad Eric on the stand about his use.
So why look at porn in the first place? What tickled your fancy? Girl on girl? Double penetration? Gay for pay?
Hey, I'm into women.
So, again, NBC, thanks. I get that it was on at 10 o'clock on network television, but it's on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on USA on a Sunday, right after Grandma comes home from after church dinner.
I mean, the fact that the only thing he takes problem with is when she's like gay for pay. It's like, whoa, I might be a rapist, but I'm straight. I like women. It's like, that's not... No.
It's a problem. The whole thing is a problem.
Yeah. It is a problem because they have all this evidence and they still can't give it. And the victim, Kelly, says this.
You have him raping me on tape. What more do you need?
I need time.
That's a good question. We have it all. We got to work on it a little more.
Yeah, we didn't watch it.
Yeah. We didn't watch it. On cross-examination, Greylock plays one of Eric's rape videos, and he gets very mad and exclaims and stands up in the middle of it.
You like it, don't you, Mr. Lutz? The feel of a woman struggling beneath you, the sobbing, the slapping, the fight they put up.
I said turn it off!
You sure about that? Because that's not an objection you're raising.
So good.
NBC had just introduced the boner defense. Isn't the reverse true? Your Honor, I didn't pop a Woody, so I'm obviously innocent.
Clearly. I mean, why would you stand up if you know you're aroused? This is a courtroom. Like, this is not a place for that.
Didn't you have math class in 8th grade?
Yeah, like, get
Go
a
to the
book.
board, you know?
He's silent on Sam, though. He's got very good abs. Maybe he just thought if people got a glimpse of them.
Yeah.
That's not what they got a glimpse of.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And he's standing up, and so the actress is like...
Really face to face.
And it was a little lower. She's like...
It is an all-time great courtroom scene.
Yeah,
I would
it
have
is.
loved to have known what Jack McCoy would have done in that situation.
Your Honor, Exhibit D. Yeah, you don't ever see Jack McCoy do that,
Nope.
do you? He can shake his head like... So just when you think you've seen everything on TV, the defense wins a mistrial because the judge has dolphin porn on his computer.
Who doesn't?
I mean, I think we've already accepted porn as a good thing. Dolphin porn is just an extension of that.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're just expanding
Yeah.
what special victims are.
It was like somebody sent him the video and was just like, "Hey, look at this." It wasn't like it was his
Yeah.
own personal.
You don't know that.
Also, it'd be one thing if the guy was having sex with the dolphin. He was clearly like swimming with the dolphin, and then the dolphin started humping him and he got out of the water. So it was like a viral video. It wasn't like...
Are you saying
They weren't like...
the guy was asking for it? Is it
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, based on the way he was dressed. Did you see that life vest?
Obviously, a dolphin can't control himself.
Yeah,
when
not around
he
that.
sees that. Those jams the guy was wearing. And the judge is like, my woman and I have enjoyed some dolphin porn from time to time. And we're not going fishing.
Ice-T pops out of the corner. He's like, I agree.
Isn't it the judge's decision whether or not to recuse himself, whether or not something is, a problem? So he decided that it was a problem.
He decided it was a problem.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
They said that there would be they would overturn the conviction afterwards, but I just don't know how.
I don't know how either.
Right? Like, how would
And
that
I don't
happen?
want that. They do end up solving the case in the classic Law and Order style, which is let's get everybody together in the conference room.
Yep.
No, doesn't matter.
Scooby-Doo style.
Scooby-Doo style. We'll bring people in, and we'll just hope that the guy incriminates himself.
You ungrateful bitch. You know I'd have given you everything. All you had to do was be a loving
How
wife.
could you do this to me and to all of those other women too?
You remember Laurel, right? And Kelly?
You sluts loved it.
You sluts loved it.
Wow. What a turn for Silent Sam.
I mean,
I like how they're like, the other victims are just waiting
Yeah.
for their cue, and he opens the door, and they come in. One on either side.
Really well dressed. They dressed up for the occasion and everything.
They were really model walking it
Yeah.
into the room.
That's my...
Where were they hanging out when they walked him through the police station? They had like, okay, everybody hide in this room. Hide in the room where we keep the puppets to talk to the kids. And then we will like parade you
It's like
in.
a sad surprise party.
Let's take a look at the real-life story that inspired this episode, and it has nothing to do with the dolphin porn. It is time for Ripped from the Headlines.
You think you know who did it. You think you know who did it, but you don't know who did it. You don't know who did it. Ripped from the headlines.
While this episode touches on the issues of legitimate scientific debate of the correlation between pornography and rape, the story is inspired by the real-life case of Andrew Luster, the great-grandson of cosmetics giant Max Factor. Luster was heir to the family fortune. Upon graduation, Luster moved into a beachside cottage where he lived a life of excess. The Factors were known in California for its patronage and philanthropy, and his partying ways made him the black sheep of the family. In 2000, police investigated a claim that Luster raped a college student in his home. Detectives found evidence the Playboy had drugged 3 women with the date rape drug GHB. He also videotaped the sexual assaults. Luster was released on $1 million bail and promptly vanished. The trial went on without him, and he was convicted in absentia. In 2003, Luster was apprehended in Mexico by, who else? none other than basic cable TV star Dog the Bounty Hunter. Although Mexican authorities determined the capture was illegal, nevertheless, they sent the fugitive back to the United States. Andrew Luster is currently serving a 50-year sentence in Valley State Prison.
Wow.
And it seems like he would have gotten away for it, except that he videotaped himself committing the crimes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you might want to permanently delete that afterwards.
Yes.
Or just
GHB,
not
though.
record it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that would seem to be the way to go. I don't think
Yeah.
you have to be a criminal genius or the son of a multi-billionaire cosmetics guy to realize maybe this is a bad move. I mean, the crime is actually the bad move.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Sure, but
also going, hey, I might want to save this for later.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple things that I have questions about.
All right.
Whenever we hear from the headline stuff, you think like the writers of the show were inspired, and some of these shows are very much track along with what happened. This real thing is super interesting. It's like more interesting than Cylon Sam like proposing to someone. Like that was like a weird detail. But I do say GHB is way more fucking boring than Colombian Devil's Breath. Way more boring. I'm really glad they changed that detail.
Yeah.
That was a good detail to change.
Okay, so when Dog the Bounty Hunter recaptured Luster to try to bring him in, the Mexican authorities arrested them both. And because apparently it's illegal to bounty hunt in Mexico. Who knew they had a
or
law?
have a name like Dog.
Yeah.
That should be illegal.
So Luster gets extradited, and Dwayne Chapman, Dog the Bounty Hunter,
That's his
is
real
still
name?
in jail. Yeah, still in jail. He says, I had permission, and he didn't really have permission. So he gets finally let out of jail, and on advice of his counsel, he flees the country. So now Dog the Bounty Hunter is literally an international bail jumper himself.
Really?
Really. True fact.
Wow. I mean, I thought he was such a stand-up ethical guy. I'm really
I know,
shocked
his
by
trustworthy eyes and bandana choices.
I know. He seems so kind.
Now, the kick in the nuts is that he asked the judge for $350,000 for capturing the fugitive, and the judge said, you didn't follow the law, you get nothing.
Oh.
Good day, sir. What do you know about Dog the Bounty Hunter?
He's married to that woman who looks like his daughter.
He has a C-list TV show in which people on the margins are exploited so he can make like $15,000 an episode, and he has very damaged hair.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
so bad.
The audience
They
is
all
nodding.
do. I think they all do, right? In that show?
A little too much.
They've been in the sun a little too long.
Yeah. So before there was a TV show, this is when this all happened. He's said to have captured 6,000 fugitives. He once served time for murder. What? Yes. Yes, in the 70s, he was in jail in Texas. Apparently, he was in the car with a guy who shot and killed somebody. So, the way those laws work, you also go to jail for murder. Yeah. So he was there for like 5 years.
Wow.
Well, at least he served 5 years.
Yeah,
exactly.
There you go. That was
exactly.
Bygones be bygones.
He got the inspiration because some guy was trying to escape, and he jumped and grabbed him. And all the guards were like, hey, man, you were pretty good at that. You should do that.
Oh, my God.
No, I'm serious.
That makes no sense to me at all. It makes no sense, but it doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay, Andrew Luster, you heard the crime. 2 of his victims have sued him, and they've won lawsuits for
them?
$40 million.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. He was sentenced to 124 years in prison.
Good.
And since that's essentially a life sentence for the crime of rape, a judge later reduced it to 50 years. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, well, let's let the rapist go.
Yeah.
Now, Luster had already skipped out on this first judge. So, getting 124 years, isn't that just the judge rubbing it in?
Yeah.
Like, I could give you 50 years, but fuck you, man. I might not see you again.
That's true. But did he pop a boner in court? That is the most pressing question.
I don't know. The judge rubbed it in, though.
Oh, God.
You walked right into that, girl. Hey, speaking of rubbing it...
We're not. Speaking of that.
I got to ask, what's with all the stepmom porn?
Oh,
Pornhub?
yeah, it's a real question.
Why is that the most popular porn?
It is a real question. As my teenage son has said many times.
Whose fantasy is that?
To have sex with one of their parents? Yeah, that's a problem.
But it's not really your parent. Just your step-parent.
Just an actress playing
Exactly.
your stepmom.
That's right.
Exactly.
These are fictional stepmoms.
Also, they're always like 28.
Yeah.
And that's like porn mom age. It's like, you're 50 in this
That's
episode.
Older woman.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, you don't get it. Your dad is appropriately
Yeah.
aged. He
The
got a
dad's
trophy
50,
wife
but-
that you want to get with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's going to do it for us. We want to thank our guest, Repy Hattersley. Repy, where can our listeners follow you online?
Well, you can follow my podcast, Hell and High Horror, at Hell High Horror at twitter.com. Ooh, twitter.com. How fancy me. And then you can follow me. I'm Reparata Ann on all social media platforms, so you can follow me there.
And Rebecca Lavoie, how can our listeners follow you?
They can just follow you and then find me. Or they can find me, because I am my own person, at Reb Lavoie on both Twitter and Instagram.
And you can track me on Twitter at Kevin P. Flynn. You can tweet to us at Law & Order Pod or follow us on Instagram at These Are Their Stories Podcast. Our newsreader was Cy Frater. Our theme music was composed and performed by Uncanny Valleys. Line editing by Henry Lavoie. Content assistance from Travis Roy. Lily Flynn handles promotions. To get ad-free episodes of These Are Their Stories a week early, sign up for Stitcher Premium. Get your first month free at stitcherpremium.com/crime. All clips in this podcast were used in compliance with the U.S. Copyrights Act. Fair use exemption for criticism and commentary. Special thanks to the elite squad of the Law & Order Wiki community for preserving the evidence. If you want to know what episodes we're talking about in our upcoming shows, go to lawandorderpodcast.com. Sign up for our newsletter for a chance to be our next Law & Order Marathon winner. These Other Stories was recorded before a live audience at the PodX convention in Nashville, Tennessee, and is a production of Partners in Crime Media.
Partners in Crime Media.